Motor pool sergeants. What's the worst vehicle abuse you've seen a soldier try to hide? I was motor pool sergeant at Fort Carson for 8 years. Seen everything. Blown transmissions, cracked engine blocks, vehicles run completely dry of oil. But nothing compared to what Private Garrett Holloway tried to pull off in 2019. Garrett was this 20-year-old kid from rural Tennessee. Good soldier, decent mechanic. Just made really terrible decisions under pressure. He'd taken a Humvee out for a routine supply run to the commissary. Should have been 30 minutes round trip. Easy mission. Nothing complicated. 4 hours later, Garrett rolls back into the motor pool, parks the Humvee in its spot like nothing happened, fills out the vehicle log, returns the keys, walks away whistling. But my assistant, Corporal Wade Brennan, noticed something weird. The Humvee was sitting lower on one side, like the suspension was completely shot. Wade walked over to inspect it. Came running back to my office 2 minutes later, face pale as a ghost. "Sergeant Sterling, you need to see Vehicle 12 right now." I followed him outside. The Humvee looked normal from a distance. Got closer and my jaw dropped. The entire front axle was bent at a 45-degree angle. Both front tires were pointing in different directions. The frame had a massive crack running down the passenger side. The oil pan was held on with duct tape and what looked like chewing gum. This vehicle had been absolutely destroyed, and somehow Garrett had driven it back to base. I checked the log. Garrett had written, "No issues. Vehicle operating normally." Called him back to the motor pool immediately. Kid showed up acting confused, like he had no idea why I needed him. "Holloway, want to explain what happened to Vehicle 12? He barely glanced at it. "Nothing happened, Sergeant. Ran fine the whole time. The axle is bent. The frame is cracked." "How exactly is that fine?" Garrett's face stayed completely neutral. "Must have been like that before I took it out. Didn't notice anything wrong." I pulled up the inspection log from that morning. Vehicle had passed with 0 defects. This damage was fresh. Happened on Garrett's watch. "Last chance, Holloway. Tell me what really happened." He stuck to his story. Said he drove to the commissary, loaded supplies, drove back. Nothing unusual occurred. The vehicle was mysteriously damaged by forces unknown. Wade started investigating. Called the MPs. Requested gate camera footage. Checked with the commissary security. What we discovered was incredible. Garrett hadn't gone to the commissary at all. He'd driven 15 miles off base to his girlfriend's apartment in Colorado Springs. Decided to take a shortcut through a construction site. Tried to drive over a pile of steel beams that were blocking the road. The Humvee got stuck on top of the beams. Front axle caught on the metal, bent like a pretzel. Garrett panicked. Instead of calling for help, he threw the transmission into reverse and floored it. The Humvee lurched backward, frame twisting, oil pans scraping across the beams. Finally broke free with a horrible grinding noise. Garrett just kept driving. Made it to his girlfriend's place with the vehicle barely holding together. Stayed there for 3 hours. Then drove back to base with the Humvee making sounds like a dying robot. Gate guards asked if everything was okay. Garrett said the noise was normal for military vehicles. They believed him and waved him through. Damage estimate came back at $47,000. The Humvee was totaled. Complete mechanical failure across every major system. Garrett's plan to hide it? Just park it and walk away. Hope nobody noticed the massive structural damage. Brought him into my office with the evidence. Security footage showing him at the construction site. Witness statements from his girlfriend. Repair estimates from 3 mechanics. Still want to claim nothing happened? Garrett finally broke. Started crying. Explained he was trying to surprise his girlfriend because she was having a bad day. Didn't want to get in trouble for the unauthorized trip. Thought if he parked the vehicle quickly enough, maybe the damage would blend in with other worn-out equipment. "Holloway, you destroyed a $47,000 military vehicle and tried to hide it by parking it normally. What part of that plan made sense?" He had no answer. The investigation lasted 2 weeks. Garrett got an Article 15, reduction in rank, extra duty for 60 days, and a bill for the damages that'll probably follow him forever. But here's the wildest part. After reviewing the gate footage, we discovered Garrett had actually driven past 2 motor pool supervisors on his way back to the parking spot. The Humvee was making grinding noises so loud you could hear it from 50 yards away, leaving a trail of oil and transmission fluid. Front wheels pointing in completely wrong directions. Both supervisors were in my office later. "We thought it was supposed to sound like that." That's when I realized we needed better training on what normal vehicle operation actually means. Garrett finished his contract and got out. Last I heard, he's working at an auto parts store in Tennessee. Still tells people he was a mechanic in the Army. His girlfriend broke up with him 2 days after the incident. Said the surprise wasn't worth $47,000. We still keep photos of that Humvee in the motor pool office. Whenever new soldiers start getting creative with their excuses, I show them Garrett's masterpiece and ask if they really want to try hiding vehicle damage from a motor pool sergeant. Nobody's tried since.